Halifax explosion is one of the greatest disasters in the history of North America. On the December 6th morning of 1917, 1,600 people died, 8,000 people injured, and 20,000 left homeless. This winter was one of the coldest winters Canada has seen in over 20 years. The population of Halifax was far greater than normal due to the troops, transporters, and freighters ready to be deployed overseas, including warship HMS Niobe. The SS Imo was outward bound overseas, carrying clothing, food, bandages, and medicine. Mont Blanc was not flying the red flag, which symbolizes explosives on board. The Mont Blanc was carrying TNT, gun cotton, picric acid, and benzol. The Mont Blanc was heading into Halifax Harbor. At the time of the collision, the sea was calm, 15 degrees above zero, with a subtle breeze and fantastic visibility. The Mont Blanc and the SS Imo approached each other. The whistles were blown, and it was clear there was a great amount of confusion between the two ships. The wheels were wrenched hard, and both ships were in full reverse. With all this, it was still far too late. The prow of the SS Imo collided with the port side of the Mont Blanc. Shortly after the collision, blue fire was already being seen coming from the Mont Blanc. An explosion was coming. A nearby tugboat was called in to pull the Mont Blanc further from shore. The Mont Blanc crew was already in their lifeboats and headed to the opposite town of Dartmouth. The time now was 9 o'clock, and everyone was settling into their seats either at school or work, and the Mont Blanc was drifting towards Pier 8. 22 minutes after the Mont Blanc and the SS Imo collided, the Mont Blanc exploded. The explosion had destroyed 2 square miles in North Halifax and Dartmouth. Everyone in those 2 square miles either had been killed or injured. Over 100 fires had broken out in less than a minute, and hazardous debris began to fall. The SS Imo was launched to the shore near Tufts Cove, on the opposite side of the channel. A vast number of the crew from the SS Imo had lost their lives, while the crew from the Mont Blanc were more lucky and had taken shelter in the trees. 2 ships near the HMS Niobe were destroyed, and the warship itself suffered heavy losses. It was estimated that close to 100 people were killed from flying pieces of the Mont Blanc. A heavy deck gun from the Mont Blanc was found 2 miles inland. The northern area of Halifax, rather known as Richmond, had bodies scattered all over the streets, decapitated, dismembered, and burned. The town was filled with the eerie sound of screams and heavy moans. Heavy damages to all local businesses, and more importantly hospitals, were terrifying. Many children lost their lives when the schools had been destroyed. Local authorities could not handle the great need for help. Out-of-town municipalities came to the rescue to help restore order. It got even worse. The temperature dropped to -12 at midnight. 2 more explosions were avoided with the act of heroism, and was estimated it saved another 6,000 lives. People at work in the less destroyed part of town rushed home to find their families completely gone, and their houses in the state of rubble. The greatest hit area was along the shore and ships within the harbor. Hours had passed before the rest of Canada had heard of what happened. After the first news of the explosion, help rushed to the scene. Every city and province of Canada had sent food and assistance. Even some states in the south had sent rescue. King George of London and the British government sent over a donation for $5 million. The Governor General and the Prime Minister called for a national-wide relief facility. The greatest injury on record was the loss of eyesight or even the eye. It was estimated 200 to 300 people lost eyesight because the eye had to be removed. 1 week after the explosion, the death toll had risen to 1,600, 300 still missing, 8,000 injured, and 20,000 homeless. In the end, the Privy Council ruled both ships were to blame for this disaster. The total estimate for deaths today is around 2,000. This goes to show that a second of confusion can lead to the loss of so many lives and one of the greatest accidental explosions to mankind.